Hello again and welcome back to the channel. This week we have a whistling automaton made by the prolific singing bird box maker Karl Griesbaum. So stay tuned and we'll take a look at it right after this. So these were produced at the Karl Griesbaum factory, which was based in Triberg, the Black Forest area of Germany. They came in all shapes and sizes, but this one is probably the most common version that you're likely to come across. So the depiction they've chosen is of this middle-aged gentleman, a tramp or hobo, and they've even carved into his left pocket there a bottle of something or other. I'm pretty sure it's not lemonade, but it's beautifully carved in the typical Black Forest fashion, nicely painted. And interestingly, it comes with the original bird-shaped key, which of course they also used to supply with the singing bird boxes that they mass-produced at the Karl Griesbaum factory. So if we just turn him around to access his back, you'll see the winding hole there about halfway down his back. If we insert the key like so, and the winding direction is clearly depicted there in the form of a black arrow, which tells us to wind the mechanism anti-clockwise. So let's go ahead and give it a wind. So as you can see, there's a small lever just above and to the left of the winding hole. So all we need to do to start the whistler in motion is to gently push down on the lever and the whistler will start to whistle his tune. So let's just turn him around. And I'll just reach around the back to the lever and we'll get him to start whistling his tune. Well, as you would have seen, his head turns from side to side, whilst his pursed lips whistle that sweet little ditty. Also, the lamppost that he happens to be leaning against lights up red during his whistling performance. Now make of that what you will. But it's such a fun piece, and I'm sure it would have brought many smiles and much amusement to many people over his long lifetime. Anyway, let's go ahead and give him another play. Now, the sweet little tune that this chap is whistling is known to us in the English-speaking world as "Did You Ever See a Lassie?" It's thought to be originally of Scottish origin, but eventually ended up in the United States due to Scottish immigration. However, in the German-speaking world, where this piece happened to be made, it's a popular Viennese song that was first published in about 1800. Right then, so with the origins of the tune discussed, we don't cut corners on this channel. Let's give this little chap another play. Right, so I'd like to give you a quick look at the mechanism. So if we just remove this back plate here, like so, we can have a good look at the mechanism. So for those of you that have been watching our channel, you'll probably notice that the mechanism is very similar to that of a singing bird box. Here we have the spring barrel. There's the whistle, the bellows, and even the governor at the top there. And as I mentioned earlier, Karl Griesbaum was a prolific maker of singing bird boxes, and we happen to have one here. This is one of the earlier Karl Griesbaum singing bird boxes, and I'm just going to give it a quick play for you. So that particular tune is the same tune that you're going to hear on all Karl Griesbaum singing bird boxes, but they've ingeniously manufactured very similar mechanisms, but instead of the wonderful bird song, these little chaps are capable of whistling a recognisable tune. So I'm just going to start him up now so you can see the mechanism in action. Right, so if we just replace his back plate, like so, and we just turn him back around. Incidentally, the founder of the Griesbaum Singing Bird Factory was Karl Griesbaum. He was born in 1872 and he began making singing bird boxes and cages sometime in the 1920s. By the 1930s, they were producing these little chaps as well, these whistlers, and they continued manufacturing right the way through the Second World War. Karl Griesbaum himself died in 1941, and from then on his sons took over the business and continued making whistlers and singing birds throughout most of the 20th century. Okay, so I'm going to try and persuade him to whistle a couple more times and then we'll call it a day. And we've come to the end of the video. But thank you so much for watching, and if you could like and subscribe, we'd really appreciate it. But do tune in next week as we'll have another antique musical treasure to show you. Thanks again, take care and goodbye.